Let's get this GE4 device remote programmed as quickly as possible. First, I'm going to show you the fastest way to get your devices set up on here, and then later on I'm going to show you some other features that you might not even know about. But before you program your remote, make sure your batteries are relatively fresh. Weak batteries can make the programming unreliable. So there's only two ways to set the codes for your devices: the direct code entry and the Autocode search. The direct code entry is the fastest and easiest method. As long as you have a device that's in the code list, you're going to probably be in good shape. Now, if you've lost your code list, you can look underneath the back cover right here, and there's a sticker that has the model number, the code list number, and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so we're going to set up direct code entry first. In my example here, we're going to set up a Vizio TV and a Pioneer amplifier. So for the Vizio TV, what you want to do is take a look at your list, and we're going to try the first code. In my case, it's 5631. So what you want to do, press and hold setup till the power button stays red, press your device button, and enter your code, 5631. Okay, so before we test that, I wanted to mention something that the manual doesn't make real obvious. The labels on the device buttons are not tied to what that button is for. TV, DVD, stream, auxiliary, whatever. You can put any device on any button. For example, if you wanted to set up two TVs, you could put the second TV on your aux buttons. Okay, so let's try this code. Okay, we got power, volume, but we don't have any menu. Now this happens sometimes. Sometimes you'll get a code that only partially works, and if that happens, what you want to do is try the next code in the list, okay? So same thing, setup, TV, our second code, 5611. 11. Okay, so let's try that one. Power, volume, menu. Yep, that did it. We're working now. Now, if you keep doing this and you find no code that works, you'll want to stay tuned for the Autocode search coming up very shortly. Okay, real quick, I'm going to put in the Pioneer amp so you can see what a different device looks like. Same thing, setup. This time I'm going to select the aux button, although I could put it anywhere. Our code for Pioneer, 0356. Same thing, you're going to want to test the functions, power, volume up, down, mute, all that kind of good stuff. If you don't have any luck, try the next code in the list, just like we did last time. Now you're going to do this exact same thing for up to 4 devices. So one thing worth mentioning is your streaming devices. A lot of these devices come with their own remote that controls the TV and a newer soundbar, that kind of good stuff. But if you still have older equipment like a DVD or an older soundbar, those remotes that come with those devices aren't even going to work. So that's something to keep in mind. You're still going to need a universal remote in those cases. I also wanted to mention, if you have a smart TV and your original remote has shortcut keys for Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that, this remote doesn't have those shortcut keys, so keep that in mind. So if you were unable to find a working code through the direct code entry, you can try the Autocode search method. What this will do is it will cycle through the entire code database one at a time. To get this activated, we're going to hold setup again, and you're going to select your device category. I'm going to use TV again, and to set it in motion, just hit power. Now what this is doing is it's sending out a batch of 10 codes. You'll want to keep your remote pointed at your device or TV the whole time that it's doing this, otherwise it might miss the code, so that's pretty important. Okay, so let's say nothing happened with that first batch of 10. Hit power again. We'll send out another batch of 10. Now this is just a hypothetical example because my Vizio TV is actually the first code in the database. I wanted to show you what would happen if your device was down the line on number 73 or something like that. Alright, so nothing happened for 20 codes, and then our TV turned off, okay? So that means it was one of those previous 10 codes, but we don't know which one. We have to search through them one at a time. So to do that, hit volume up. Red light is flashing, so that's sending out one code at a time. Okay, let's say it was that one. So to store the code, just hit the device button that you used to originate this whole thing. That stored the code. Now as before, you'll want to test the functionality of that code, and if it partially works, you've got TV but no menu, for example, you'll want to do this test again, but this time skip over the first code that the device responds to because we already know that that one doesn't work. Now the instructions actually say to do this with your device turned on, but I think it'll work either way. So you're going to do the exact same thing for the rest of your devices, whether you use direct code entry or autocode search. And the other thing is if you have a TV combo unit, like a TV DVD, you might have to put in 2 different codes, one for TV, one for DVD. Okay, so just a couple of other quick notes here. If you have an external soundbar or amplifier and you want an easy way to control the volume without having to go back and forth on your device buttons, you can set the remote to control your soundbar even if you're still in TV mode. To set that up, hit Setup. You're going to want to hit the device button that you have your soundbar tied to. In my case, it's aux. Then you're going to want to hit Mute and Volume Up. The red light should flash 2 times and go out. If you want to undo this and go back to the TV default volume, just do the same exact thing except hit volume down at the end. So I wanted to make a quick note about this color button right here. You can easily change the colors of the LEDs for 5 different colors, blues and reds and greens and all that kind of good stuff. I think it's a nice feature, but I think it would have been a nicer feature had they put the button underneath the battery cover or something like that so it doesn't get so easily bumped. As it stands now, all you have to do is look at this thing wrong and you'll bump the button right there to change the colors. If you're shifting it around in the bed or in the couch or whatever, it's going to change. Now, if you don't care if it changes, it's not a problem, but if you want it to stay a certain color, I don't think it's a good feature with where the button is at right now. Now, if you feel like you've just messed everything up and you want to start over from scratch, you can do a factory reset. So again, Setup, Mute, 0. Reset everything back to factory. Okay, so if this video has been helpful for you, thanks for watching.